over 40 years, I have seen a lot of business opportunity, challenges, business success, business failure in all the different major industry that just emerged. And some of them did very well, some of them didn't do quite as well. Of course, among them would be the personal computer industry, which I personally participate in. Typical of any early stage of industry development that I witnessed, it took a long time for the technology to evolve and become better and better. I was fortunate enough to be one of the participants in the creation of portable computer. And one time was the creator of the Dolphin DTR, which competed head-on with Apple Newton. And of course, some of us may know that Newton has evolved to what the iPhone is today. So based on my observation, it was because computer became so widely accepted, it powered the internet, which we all know has been quite a phenomenon. It's been extremely world-changing, and for that matter, being pretty disruptive. We are probably seeing an even greater technology revolution that's already going on, and that is the creation of Bitcoin. Personally, I am just immensely impressed by Satoshi's contribution in the creation of consensus system using distributed ledger. What it means is, for the first time in human history, we have made it possible for currency or any asset of value or documentation to be transferred and transmitted between just two parties with a cell phone or any personal computer that's connected to the internet. What this means is, we feel that this would have world-changing implications, would allow the people who have always wanted to engage everyone on a global basis in order to help alleviate them from the poverty level to an upper level within that economy later. I think all those things all of a sudden became possible. There was literally a wish, a dream, not too many years ago. So the convergence of technology with the personal computer, the internet, now, one of the most important things is actually the ability to transfer asset of value or anything that's attached to it between two parties without having to go through the central authority. And because we are able to do that with this new technology, we believe that if DNotes is positioned accurately, strategically, in the best way of being able to connect the new decentralized world with our current banking, central government, centralized everything, you'll be able to have DNotes positioned as the party that is represented in the decentralized world by virtue of DNotes, the digital currency, okay? And in order to do that, we feel that it's extremely important that DNotes doesn't follow the same path that everyone is on. We need to be distinctly different. And based on that philosophy, DNotes has built the currency and ensure that anything that we can do is to promote it, to represent it as the trusted currency that would have lasting value. Beyond that, we want to make sure that the creation of the currency, the governance of the currency, relating to all kinds of different rules and changes that got to be made in the future, is totally decentralized. It means no one should have the power or the ability to control it. Over and above that, we feel that it is extremely important for us to build a trusted brand, because we do believe that it is a currency and it involves people's hard-earned dollars, their life saving and everything. It's important that they can trust the people behind it. Okay. And as a consequence of that, we have made a lot of efforts and expended a lot of resources to build our own ecosystem, which include crypto moms, to encourage and assist women to participate in this new economy, which we believe will have huge potential. And if it's been missed, it's actually a little bit of a setback. We also created DNotes Vault. Essentially, is a storage for DNotes for those people who do not want to go through a lot of trouble of creating the wallet, downloading the blockchain, what have you. And probably Tim can add a little bit more to that later. We have also created a new site that's called DC Brave, and Brandon and his team created DNotes EDU. It's based on all these different things. That DNotes is more than just a currency. It also has its own ecosystem. In essence, we're building the total system, which we feel is going to be critical to serve as a gap between, to bridge the decentralized world with the centralized world. Tim, you have anything to add to that?
Well, I agree with everything that you're saying. And one thing I'd like to touch on a little bit more is the ecosystem structure that you were just discussing. So as we were sort of just discussing, there's this bridging ecosystem. So what we mean kind of by that is we've got a currency itself, but we also have a managing company that develops that currency. And that company is called DNotes Global. So what DNotes Global aims to do is, as Alan was saying, bridging that gap between the centralized world and the decentralized one. But the way that we're going to try and achieve that is to undertake a whole bunch of profit-generating activities. And the benefit of that is that with all of our properties like the DNotes Vault, where people can securely store their money, and we'll be adding many more features over time, is that property will one day start earning money. And then, of course, that profit will be in turn used to help develop the currency itself as that currency grows. What we've gone ahead and done on top of that is we've gone and allocated some of the equity in that company, up to 25% in fact, and given that to the currency holders. So the reason why we've done that is with a lot of venture capital raising and other means of acquiring cash injections to a company, is it can really remove the ability for the everyday person to come along and take part. So normally that's because there's minimum funding amounts, like it could be $100,000, $200,000 or whatnot. And that really excludes a lot of people. And we want everyone to be involved and to take part and benefit from DNotes itself. So we've given some of that 25% of that equity to the currency holders. So what that means is if you're a holder of DNotes currency itself, you also have a share in the managing company. And furthermore, what the benefit of this is, you know how kind of most stocks are kind of backed by the profit that a company's making. In this kind of context, it means that the currency itself is also supported by the profits that that company is generating, which should, over time, help sort of balance out and stabilize that currency's value and definitely give it a floor backing. And of course, the sky's the limit in the crypto world when it comes to how high it can go.
Yeah, I would say, Tim brought up an extremely important point. And that actually is a real challenging problem in our industry. And of course, the DNotes team has always wanted to address that issue. And that issue is about whether Bitcoin or digital currency has any intrinsic value. It's very difficult to argue technically that it has very little. Because at this point, even if you want to argue that utility would have some value, it's not being used that much yet. Of course, it's relatively. We are talking about a very big world, right? So many of the argument against Bitcoin and digital currency this day is it doesn't have or it lacks intrinsic value. And what Tim was trying to tell us is the DNotes group has been trying to solve the problem. And we actually have a company incorporated over a year ago. And I've written a book and committed 100% of the revenue to go to DNotes Global. So what is interesting here is, Tim just pointed out, is any DNotes stakeholder, just by virtue of their ownership of even one DNotes or even less, okay, just by extension of the ownership of DNotes, they own a bit of DNotes Global Inc. And DNotes Global Inc., which is, I think, uniquely different compared to any other currency, at least based on what I know of. There are so many things coming out that some that I probably do not know. But anyway, I think DNotes Global Inc. is extremely unique in that the stakeholder actually did not have to pay for DNotes Global Inc. Okay, we funded it. We may eventually go out and raise additional capital, and that would have an impact on the dilution of the share, but it means we'll end up getting more capital infusion, which is also a good thing, right? So the whole point of DNotes Global is one very significant puzzle that will eventually put the whole thing together in Mexican, is that in order to solve the problem of the lack of or non-existent of intrinsic value, what if a for-profit company would be actively promoted, okay, and managed and became profitable and grow rapidly? Why would it? Well, if we believe that digital currency and the blockchain technology is going to take over the world, we have a company specifically positioned to do that. In the first case, we are not trying to convince that the blockchain technology and associated applications, which have been and will be developed and will be a major player in that. Okay, if we believe that that is going to change the world, that scale is huge, and DNotes is positioned to be a major player. We are not just talking about it or want to pump up the value of our currency. But what we do believe is, if we develop our own technology, application, and so on, for the sake of helping ourselves and others, and we have a company that would actually put everything to work and also help other people who may want to participate in that. Based on my over 40 years of experience in business, this could be amazing, because in the first case, it is without a doubt that the potential is huge. The potential for growth is extensive. Okay. And we know for a fact, just like what you said earlier, Chris, when things look good, everyone wants to have a piece of the pie, right? Things are looking pretty good. A lot of people are making pretty good return on the investment right now. So our expectation is this thing will have tremendous potential. And what is most important is for us to be positioned correctly, so that anytime we have to execute, we are ready.
it sounds to me like DNotes is a digital currency that's pretty inclusive. It sounds like that makes it more efficient, more financially effective. You can do more with your money in that way.
Yes, we are inclusive in different ways. Okay. In the first case, we want to make sure that DNotes becomes accessible to anyone globally. Of course, we are not there at this point, but the DNotes infrastructure is such that once we scale, okay, and reach out to other countries and so on, one of these days, hopefully years from now, it will become accessible to anyone because we are very committed to be inclusive of anyone so that more people can benefit from this new technology. Okay. The other way I look at being inclusive is, unlike others that may create the currency and hope that it's going to go up a lot in value so that it can cash in, we are much more inclusive as a group in that we look beyond just the currency.
DNotes is here for the long run.
Yes, we are here for the long run. We are totally committed for the long run. And our immediate objective is not how soon can we get there, but whether we have taken the right path, done the right thing at the right time, involve as many people as possible. We may sound a little bit foul. I'll be the first to tell you, if we can end up changing the world, we'll be real happy. Okay. And we will not turn it down. Correct, Tim?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important what Alan was just saying before and previously about the intrinsic value thing. So especially if the company is making money and that's kind of providing an intrinsic value to the currency itself, it really does give people in those developing nations a real opportunity to sort of be lifted out of their situation. And in particular, people that are investing their hard-earned money and their life savings and all that sort of carry on. We believe one of the trends that we'll see in cryptocurrency is people start viewing them, say, less as a bubble and more as a real investment opportunity with more like reliable appreciation. So that's why we've been positioning ourselves as a more under a more stable growth model, which is actually backed by something. Whereas, as Alan was touching on before, a lot of the currencies, or pretty much all of them, they don't really, they are more just speculative assets. We would love to consider them a proper means of exchange. Now, the caveat that I have to put in there is digital currencies can fulfill pretty much all of the functions of money better than modern money ever could. The only thing is, at the current moment, they are not. So let's consider it more of a potential to be the ultimate medium of exchange, but just not quite doing it right now. So we're kind of positioning ourselves in the best way possible that we can see to become that best possible medium of exchange, where you're a store of value, unit of account, and medium of exchange, of course, by kind of just having that sort of reliable stability, which people really need. And if we can actually achieve that, then, and having that intrinsic value backed by a company's profits, then you're not really going to have that discussion regarding us of, is it a bubble? That question just won't exist in the context of DNotes.
So what is DNotes doing differently than other digital currencies to achieve this?
Well, okay. I can take the one because what Tim just said is extremely important. And in order for us to be able to accomplish that kind of mission, that kind of high goal, we have to do quite a few things very differently. Okay. One is we have to absolutely commit ourselves to ensure that DNotes is going to meet the full function of money as we know it, or the fiat currency. Okay. And he just mentioned that. The main function would be unit of count, okay, medium of exchange, and store of value, okay. It's a unit of account. That's the easy part. Once it's being traded, value is being established, and that's is very measurable, right? But the medium of change is not so simple, because when you do a transaction, if the currency is not stable, by the time you make the agreement and you're about to send money, okay, in this case, let's say DNotes, the value would have changed in a material way. So that problem got to be solved. The other one is store value. If you want people to use DNotes, you want to make sure that that store value is reliable. And I have always maintained the argument that if that store value that value would increase that's being stored is appreciation of capital value, that is perfectly fine. I will highly prefer that. But stability is based on different issue. So this is why having that for-profit company, which we believe will be scaled globally to a global scale because of a huge amount of opportunity in all the different projects that we have in mind that DNotes globally would incorporate. Okay. So what is it that DNotes has been doing differently? It's quite a number of things. We mentioned earlier about the different ecosystem. We have the DNotes world almost acting like a bank, if you will, and eventually it will become an exchange, become a bank, and so on. Just like technology, you start the first step, right? And it will continue to evolve and become better and better, more and more refined. But DNotes is positioned, okay, to do that. You can say that we already produce a model for that, a proven model that has been refined, that can be scaled up globally very, very quickly. And Chris, I'll add one other point that's extremely important, okay? Our industry, which is not uncommon, make a lot of claims, wish to do a lot of things, but quite often, after a day or a week, that whole idea that is forgotten. No commitment, no initiative to do anything. Soon after DNotes was launched in 2014, one of our members made a post. And that was a post about the concern for the lack of participation on the part of the female population. And our team, I think, all of us here, plus many more, responded very positively. Said, how can we go ahead if this industry is going to generate so many jobs, so much wealth, okay? How can we leave the female population
You're
alone?
missing half of us.
Yes, we recognize that.
I want to be involved too.
Yes, and you know what? You ladies control more than half of the spending.
A lot more than that.
Yes. I don't even know what the exact amount
I believe
is.
it's 80% of household spending.
Well, I would say at least 50, 55.
Use Google later.
Right? Okay. So what it is the conversation continue to the point that let's do it. Why don't we do something about it? Because we realize that the male participation in our current industry, I don't think we move the needle as much as we would like to. At least at the time when Crypto One was formed in response to this challenge or recognition, the ratio was 95% male to 5% female. Okay. And that was the reason we didn't want to just continue to talk about it. We created Crypto One. And CryptoMoms is specifically created to encourage the female population to participate in our exploding industry.